2, 1.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Tuesday. Hey.
Happy Tuesday.
Sarah, how are you?
Good. David Sears, how are you?
I was just thinking, I feel like we're like on a talk show. And like Ryan and Kelly are off. And so we're filling in.
Ryan and RJ and Alicia are Ryan and Kelly, and we're like
the fill-ins.
The fill-ins again.
So,
hey, I'm happy to be here. Always good to be filling in on KNN.
You know, I think the fill-ins, even on Ryan and Kelly, probably get paid well, and that's a big audience. So
do we get paid more every time we fill in?
No, but I think maybe.
I was like, are you getting paid more?
I don't think so. Oh, sorry, you didn't know?
Oh, cool.
Wow.
I mean, okay, but I love whether I'm getting paid more or not. I love the show, and I love it because it's also a podcast, and it's basically you can get it everywhere. You can stream it on our website, KSAT.com, also on YouTube, and a podcast. So
yeah, we got a lot for you this morning as well. In the afternoon, depending on how early you wake up, it could be your afternoon.
It is my 6 p.m.
Is it your 6 p.m.? All right. Today there is a big vote in the House regarding 2 human rights cases and why the popular candy Skittles is facing a lawsuit.
No,
Skittles?
it's not good. It's not good because I consume a lot of Skittles. I'm very.
You like them?
I love them.
Oh.
I love them. We'll chat about that. I'm actually very terrified. And congrats to 2 local guys. They're heading to the big leagues for the MLB.
They got drafted over the weekend. So one's from Bernie and one's from right here in San Antonio. We'll talk about those 2 guys and congratulate them a little bit more here coming up in just a few minutes. But that's always a big deal because we love when San Antonio athletes, when these high school kids get to go to college.
Right.
Because of their athletic skills and, of course, their academic skills.
And represent us and make us proud.
And so we got 2 going to probably start off in the minors.
Awesome.
For a couple of years, but then they'll hopefully make it to the majors. But we'll talk about that in just a few minutes first.
But first, we have big news out of Uvalde's CISD special meeting that happened last night. We now know that the district police chief, Pete Arredondo's administrative leave is in fact a paid one. Yeah, parents and the community outraged by this news last night. They continued to call for him to be fired. And many even are calling for other school board members to resign because they haven't fired him yet. So the superintendent says they need to do a thorough investigation and hold a private board meeting to make that decision. Multiple families, even some of the children themselves, got up to say that they will not continue their education in the school district there in Uvalde until actions are taken to harden those schools and hold law enforcement responsible for their lack of action.
This was the last dress that all my friends saw me on. Most of those kids were my friends. And that's not good. And I don't want to go to your guys' school if they don't have protection.
Now, as for the upcoming school year, the superintendent says the Uvalde CISD elementary, middle school and elementary school will get an 8-foot fence around the campus. And another thing that they revealed last night was that the start of school is going to be delayed till after Labor Day, so they can get their safety precautions in place taken care of. It's supposed to start like in the middle of August, but now they're going to hold off, so they want to make sure they get these safety issues dealt with. Yeah, that's going to be after September 6th. So far, there are no concrete plans for more security at Uvalde High School. I mean, it's emotional to hear a lot of those. Tough. You know, especially from a child, just pleading and talking. I know it was expected to be a heated meeting, especially after the release of that investigation and of all that video. And they have that whole time period in the meeting for parent comment, so I think that was expected that we were going to hear some pretty high emotions last night. And it's almost a given that they're going to have to hold off starting school until they make sure that all these schools are secure. And of course, some of these kids are going to be switching schools. Obviously, nobody's going to be going to the Robb Elementary School now, so they're going to be having to switch schools. So these kids are going to have to adjust to that. Right. So there's a lot of adjustments that are going to have to be made, and I think it's smart just to let them kind of get ready for that and maybe ease them into the school year rather than just say, hey, okay, it's starting today. I mean, let them kind of work their way back into it. And speaking of that, I know we are working on, especially for GMSA, we're doing a series with mental health how to talk to your child. I know a lot of parents are on edge, children are on edge, so we talked to a mental health expert, just how do you prepare your child who might be feeling a little scared?
Sure.
How do you have those conversations
Sure.
with them as they get ready back to school? So look for those stories on GMSA coming up in the next month.
And that's the thing, this is not only going to affect kids in Uvalde, obviously it's going to affect
Right.
them, but it's going to affect kids here in San Antonio and basically all over the country, because this has been in the news so much. And you know, you can shield your kids from a lot of things, but sometimes the news gets to them, and the parents need to sit down and talk to these kids. And so this
Right.
is going to be great that y'all are doing that and putting that together. So help those parents out when it comes time to get those kids back in school.
Yeah, we'll have that information hopefully soon on our website. But changing gears, the House is set to vote to protect same-sex and interracial marriages after the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade. Abortion access has sparked concerns that other rights enjoyed by countless Americans may be in jeopardy.
Yeah, Tuesday's vote in the House is part political strategy, setting up an election year roll call that will force all lawmakers, Republicans included, and all those Democrats to go on the record with their views on the high-profile social issue.
It's also part of the legislative branch asserting its authority, pushing back against an aggressive court that appears intent on revisiting many settled U.S. laws.
Yeah, the House will also vote this week to codify a decades-old Supreme Court ruling related to contraception. The 1965 Griswold versus Connecticut decision protected the right of married couples to buy and use contraceptions without government restriction.
So that's a decision that conservative Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas has suggested the current court might revisit. Both of these pieces of legislation are not expected to pass the Senate. So they're expected to pass the House, and they're expected to either stall in the Senate, but most likely not pass the Senate.
Be hard to get 60 votes in the Senate because they'd
Right.
have to go through that whole system. And it's also going to be interesting to see the votes and how they shake out. This is more of a political move than it is anything.
It's all very political.
The House just wants to get a lot of the Republicans on the record on how they would vote, because the midterms are coming up in 4 months.
Yeah, it's really political driven, midterms, all that stuff. But hey, when was the last time you actually had some Skittles?
A couple weeks ago, and I'm feeling fine.
You're okay. I'm feeling fine too, and I was telling producer Alyssa, I used to have this thing when I worked Night Beat. I would get a bag of Skittles every night as my snack, not my dinner, and have it with a glass of red wine, and that was an every
Wait,
night thing.
Skittles and red wine?
Yes, I don't know
Really?
what it is. They don't even go well together. You're supposed to
So
drink Skittles with white wine.
Usually, like, don't you drink wine to like take?
They do have a wine pairing. It's supposed to be paired with a good
What is it,
Sauv
like
Blanc because they're sour.
Fish and steak and
I don't know.
Skittles. What wine goes with Skittles? But back up. Isn't like wine supposed to like kind of calm you down and let you enjoy?
Well, that's why I
and then
drink
Skittles,
it.
Right? But then Skittles are like, it's nothing but sugar. So then you're like,
Oh well, because I eat so
fired
much.
up 1 second and you're down, and you like.
David Sears, I am always fired up. So
Yeah, but
it doesn't
now-
even matter.
now- I wasn't worried a minute ago, but now I'm worried.
Okay, so
I'm a
this
little
is
concerned.
this is why we are talking about Skittles,
Okay.
because the makers of Skittles, Mars, they're getting sued. It's not good.
Somebody in California is suing Mars. They claim that the Skittles are made with a known toxin.
Yeah, they say that Skittles are made with titanium dioxide and it
what that
should
is.
not be consumed. They've been chewing on this for a while. So back in 2016, the Mars company said they were not going to use that particular chemical compound in their products, and that includes Skittles.
Yeah, the company has said that they don't comment on litigation. Who does? However, when it comes to titanium dioxide, they follow the FDA regulation. Is titanium dioxide, is that on the periodic table?
Okay, so I was reading about
that-
this
is
because
that
I was
somewhere
starting
down
to
there?
Google. I wanted to Google my doom. I was like, am I going to die?
die.
Because I've consumed a
Because
lot
I'm
of
eating
Skittles.
Skittles.
But basically everything I found
wine.
that said titanium. So it's legal here. Small amounts of it is legal here of the FDA, not in Europe.
Okay.
And it's based on, they haven't done enough studies on it. So there's one study in 2019 that showed some rats had tumors in their lungs from eating too much of this titanium dioxide.
What is it? What is it supposed to do for the Skittle?
I don't know. It's like a powder
Is it
that
flavor, or
it's
is
it's
it-
part
is
of
it
the
hold it
dye.
together?
I
Is
think
it-
it's part of the dye process.
Oh, is it? Okay.
But then also everything else I read was like, there's not enough studies. There's not enough studies. So, and then the reason why it's legal here is because there's such a small amount that is allowed. Our bodies can't even like digest it when we consume it. So there's not enough in it to actually harm us.
This is like science class on titanium dioxide.
Yeah, because
you just did some serious research on this,
David,
didn't you?
when you eat as much Skittles as I do,
How many Skittles do you eat a day?
a lot. I haven't eaten them in a long time. I want to.
Okay.
That's like, I don't know what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because I saw this. It came out, so I'm like, maybe I should pause on the Skittles until we find out more information.
So what do you think?
I'm not going to eat Skittles until we find out more information.
So you're just cutting off Skittles, cold turkey.
I'm
just quitting.
You know, it's
no more Skittles. For
trying
right
to
now.
quit. It's a bad habit, so maybe my teeth will like that part too.
Okay. All right. It's one way to get off of sugar.
I'm eating
I don't
other
think you're
sugar
gonna-
stuff.
I don't think you're going to quit. I think
Probably
I
not.
think
You're gonna like find me in the corner of the
Yeah.
newsroom, like holding
I think
Skittles.
you'd be hidden in the
Yeah.
exactly hidden in the corner somewhere a little
let's-
because there's some bags of Skittles in the
Okay.
little market back in there. You know,
Yeah, I know. Stop
they're
tempting me.
They're like just a couple of bucks. You can have some.
On to baseball. No more Skittle talk, please.
I don't think they chew Skittles in baseball. Bubble gum and well, they don't even choose tobacco much anymore.
No.
Those guys are like
They're
learning.
healthy. They're healthy.
A lot of bubble gum and a lot of sunflower seeds. But congratulations to a couple of local baseball stars that get drafted by major league teams over the weekend. So we're going to start with one very local guy, MacArthur High grad and Texas Tech Red Raider Jace Jung. He's been drafted by the Detroit Tigers. He was the 12th overall pick. So there was only 11 guys that they thought might be better for their teams than him. So congratulations to him.
And after his freshman year, he was selected a Big 12 Player of the Year. You might recognize the name. He is a younger brother of Josh Jung. He played at MacArthur, then Texas Tech. Man, these guys love your school.
They do like to play Texas. The wind's blowing out. That's a lot of homers.
And then he was drafted by the Texas Rangers in the first round with the 8th overall pick back in 2019.
Just as over there shaking his head. He's like a little more Texas Tech. All right, he was 2019. So he's a Ranger. He's actually playing with a Triple League team. I think he's injured right now. He's on the 60-day DL. So that's where he is bid. So all right. So and congratulations to a Bernie senior. He hadn't gone to college yet.
Oh,
He's
wow.
already drafted. His name is Cole Phillips. He was drafted in the second round by the defending world champion Atlanta Braves. He's coming off Tommy John surgery.
Wait, what
which
is Tommy John surgery?
It's elbow surgery.
Elbow? Okay.
Yeah. It's like tennis elbow in baseball.
Oh, see, I always called it tennis elbow. I never called it Tommy John.
Sort of kind. He's got some tendons in there, got all messed up because he can flat out throw it. This is why they drafted
Wow.
him. He's thrown several pitches at 101 miles an hour. You can't hit that.
A senior in high school,
Yeah.
101.
Throwing him 101. There's major league players. Well, Kevin can hit it. Yeah, our director over there can hit 101
Definitely.
mile an hour pitch.
I think I can hit it.
Most
I mean,
major league
I played
players
tennis.
can't
I
hit
played
it.
tennis. Some of those they'll serve it to you
They're like
at-
120, aren't they?
I know, but I have like a racket to defend myself.
Yeah, but you're further than 90 feet away too.
Yeah. I'm also like I would always stand like really far back and like
But you're quick like a rabbit.
Yeah, quick. That's why you
can play
rupture an
some
Achilles.
swing. That's how you do that.
Oh,
Yep.
too soon.
Whoa.
Too soon. Oh, sorry, Max Massey. I was there too. I ruptured my Achilles.
What are the chances that both of you guys?
I
like
know.
Achilles
He wanted to
issues?
be just like me.
Yeah. You
Eh.
played college tennis too, right?
I did, and I
Nice. There you
didn't
go.
rupture my Achilles then, but you know, when you get
that's
old,
good.
that's what happens.
Ooh,
Oh.
That's why I'm wearing tennis shoes that
David's
you
like,
can see.
who you telling?
Stop.
I didn't say
We're
it.
gonna
No,
get through the whole show without
Justin
old
Horn.
joke.
I love it when you come in, Justin.
David knows I love him.
Yeah. Okay.
Jokes are only
Wait,
because
let's
of
get to your.
Oh, we have trivia?
We do have trivia
I love
today.
trivia. Okay.
Okay, so it's not a very happy trivia, but what is
Oh.
the longest stretch in days that San Antonio has gone without rainfall, meaning less than
Like
100 an
ever?
inch?
Like
Ever. Well, since records have been kept.
Which was like 1993?
1880s.
No,
yeah.
that was close.
I know I wasn't around in the 1880s when we had that longest.
I did not say that was going to
Stop.
go there,
Yeah,
David.
you were thinking it though.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Okay.
with C71.
Okay, Kevin and Alyssa say C as well, 71.
Okay.
I didn't read out the choices for those on the podcast, but it's 52, 63, 71, or 85.
The longest stretch we've ever gone without rain.
So we've got 3 votes for 71. David, what say you?
I
gotta
can't
do
go with
something.
71.
No, you can't.
So
You gotta go.
I'm going to go with 63.
63.
Yeah.
Well, look,
Wow.
very, he knows his weather.
He's wise.
It pays to be a little older. You got a little more wisdom up here. You think a little better.
You've been there, done
More
that.
logic.
There you
know.
go.
Yeah. And you were around in 1993 when it
Well,
happened.
yeah, I was here.
So
I
from
was right here. I was in this newsroom in 1993.
You were.
I don't know where you. Where were you?
Probably in grade school.
Where were
I
you?
would imagine.
1993. You don't know.
I was in kindergarten, I think.
Ish.
Yeah.
Wow.
You were working.
I was
You
working.
remember this drought?
Yeah.
It went from June 27th or July 27th, I should say, all the way through August 28th.
Okay, so
1993.
the big flood was in 90. No, I'm sorry. There was
98.
98, and
Yep.
then the other one was in 80. What was the one that was in? We talked about
We
it
had a
this weekend.
2002 flood. That was a big one, and then one in 98.
There was not one in 80 something.
Well, we probably did have a couple in the 80s. Have to go back.
I don't remember the 80s one.
Late
The
80s.
98 one and then the
Okay.
2002
Those
one.
are the big ones. Those are the big notable ones.
Got it.
Since I've been around.
Yes.
Thank you for your wisdom.
But it's important. It's smart that you point that out because we do go from drought to
Yeah.
floods here. This is kind of how we operate here in South Texas. But we're just going through the data, and that's not the graphic I was looking for actually.
But still impressive though.
No, you know what? Well, it is. That shows high temperatures. You know what I'm going to do because I want to get the right graphic up there. I'm
Okay.
going to go switch it out. So
All right.
just
Here, let me
Just
go
watch
over
that
here.
for a
Do you wanna
second.
do the
So
weather?
in 2011, we've had a temperature of
see, David
111
always wanted to be a
degrees.
meteorologist.
I did.
Now he's getting the chance.
That was in 2000, and in 2011, what is this? The hottest temperatures of
That's
all
the hottest
time.
temperatures all time. We set
So in
107
2011,
this year.
we got up to 110 in 2011.
Okay, no, but 2000 it was.
But look at this.
We've done this before. We can do it, everyone.
Look at 2000. Look at this. Wham! That was big. I was here then too.
Was
in
it?
I
this
was not
newsroom
here
then,
for
too.
that. But the latest one is so.
So far in 2022, see, 2022
107.
hadn't gotten there yet.
So we're not going to get there today either.
Where'd it go?
Sorry, I moved it on you.
I think that's their way of cueing you to get off the weather set, David Sears. Please escort yourself from the weather set. Thank you.
Now my clicker's not working. Hold on. See, we're having all
Justin,
sorts of technical difficulties.
hot mess today.
I was right there for you, man.
Yeah,
What is going on?
And if you wouldn't mind hitting the space button
So
for
for
me.
those on the podcast, Justin's having some major. He's having a major meltdown.
I was so prepared. Apparently not.
Do you want to just talk about weather?
You can go ahead and hit the space bar. Here
Oh, we
go.
got it.
There we go. This is what I was trying to pull up.
That's the one you want?
Awesome.
Yes. So
There we go.
From
It took the intern to go over there and fix that
I
for
know.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Amanda.
you,
Way to go, Amanda.
Amanda.
Yeah.
Intern
Yes.
Amanda.
So from January 1st to July 19th, this is now officially the driest start to the year we've ever seen, guys. 5.12 inches. That's all we've seen so far this year. We surpassed several other years. And all these years are drought years, okay? So we know that we're probably going to end this year on a not so great note unless something big changes. But even the big drought years of 1956, by this point in the year, we had 6.17 inches. So it just puts it into perspective. We are sort of in a bad situation here as far as rainfall goes. Watches and warnings across the state, a lot of them, excessive heat warnings, heat advisories, and that includes San Antonio, Dallas. Temperatures today up around 109 Dallas, 103 here in San Antonio. We'll be up around 110 in Oklahoma City, 106 in Midland, 108 in Amarillo. So these are blistering hot temperatures.
114
Yes.
in Wichita Falls. Is that they have humidity or is it more of a dry heat?
More of a dry heat,
Okay.
but still, that's closing in on some records.
Got it.
And that's also the case in Europe. We showed this
Wow.
yesterday, but this is as of today. London got up to 102, their all-time hottest temperature ever. Same story around Paris, Amsterdam, Brussels. This is dangerous too because they don't have AC over there. They're not used to this kind of heat, so unfortunately it has brought upon some deaths and things like that in places like Spain and Portugal, and now probably parts of Europe, unfortunately. Heat indices today up around 107 here in San Antonio. We'll see heat indices around 104 around 6 p.m. So pretty dangerous here too. We got to be careful as we go forward. Extended forecast: 104 Wednesday, 103 Thursday, 101 Friday. More records. We're also going to surpass on Thursday the third most triple-digit days in a year. So we just keep setting records left and right here, guys.
Wait, so I thought we're in the 30s. Is that
39 days. Once we get to 42, we'll officially be in third place for most triple-digit days in
Ever.
a year. in a year.
In a year. But then are we about to do the consecutive ones? Is that what the record we're
Well,
about to break?
we already broke the consecutive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, listen, just about every temperature record you can think of, we're breaking it this year.
We're breaking it.
Yes.
Breaking
My
down
apologies
the
for the
door.
technical difficulties, but thanks for standing in, David. You always do a great job with the weather.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me do it.
Yes. And thank you to our intern Amanda for
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Amanda.
fixing everything.
Those are some ugly numbers.
I know. I've just been staying inside,
All right.
watching Netflix, going to the movies.
We'll just deal with it.
Yep.
So,
Hey, we're Texans. We're strong. We can get through
we
this.
are. And we've been handling it all these years, even back in the 1800s.
And David knows. You said it. You set me up for that. You can't just let me.
You just had to walk through that door, didn't you?
Justin gave me permission.
See you back here at noon.